What up, world? What up, me? This is Drewize. Coming out like this. Drewize Topics. What up, YouTube? I want to talk about these topics. These particular topics, which is true, is my opinion. You know, one topic is relationships and children. Okay, first off, relationships. In this time, in this modern day time, today's world, 2016, relationships is not lasting, In today's time, relationship is not even reaching the mark of 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or 30 years. No. No. Back then when grandpa and grandma, they've been together over 30 years. Until someone rolls over and returns to the ground again. Yeah. I think the minimum now, in today's time of relationships, I think the minimum is lasting is like range from a year to maybe, let's say 5, even less than that. Love is, to me, how I'm looking at it. This is how I look at it, in my opinion. Love, to me, is a illusion. Illusion is something that magicians perform. That tricks your eyes and stuff, But how I'm looking at love is also illusion that tricks your mind and tricks your heart. Yeah. To make it seem that it's real, but it's not. It's not. So, that's what I'm saying. Relationship nowadays is not lasting. Marriage nowadays is not even lasting. Boyfriend, girlfriend, break up in a year, 2 years, or whatever, less than that. So, children, I think that in my mind, in my opinion, if you're not trying to build a committed, long-term relationship, either it's marriage or it's some type of common law. Don't sit down and lay down and have them. Or make them, or whatever. All that categorized. Have them, make them, bear them, whatever. Don't even think about him. But see, you women got to understand, to stop this man in his tracks. That is, do you have a condom, yes or no? If you do, we can proceed on in this type of session called sex. We can proceed on this. But if you don't, this session is not going to even happen. So we ain't gonna do it unless you go to some store and purchase a condom. Come back later on or 15 minutes later or something. Well, see, parents like me at the time, I wasn't thinking about having no children. That wasn't on my mind. That wasn't in my heart. That wasn't my desire to have children. I didn't want to think about having children. I didn't want children, But it happened because I didn't wear no protection. That woman didn't even say to me at all. All the women I dealt with didn't say to me, do you have a condom? Yes or no? No, they didn't. They just let me proceed on, But see, out of that, I got 3 children. 3. From 2 different women. Out of a common law relationship. 2 different black women, But see, my thing is this. Children are better with 2 parents in the household sometimes. Sometimes. As far as behavior, how they look at the family structure of the household as family basic, based it on, they look at that. But if you are a type of parents like this, you see them when you want to see them. That's one thing, you know what I'm saying? But the child will always say this: why, how come, I wish. Far as the father is in and out, rather than sometimes the mother is in and out, either or. The father could be in and out, the mother could be in and out, and that child will always say, like I said, how come, why, I wish, So, yeah. Just like I don't watch this show at all, called Love and Hip Hop. I don't pay attention to that show. Now, they announced this on the Breakfast Club. One of the cast member. It was April and Amorion. How they broke up. April said, I didn't cheat on him and he didn't cheat on me. We just broke up. But it had to be a reason why they done that. You know what I'm saying? It had to be. Either it was too much arguing, too much putting hands on each other, too much mouth this and mouth that. It got to be something. You just can't break up for no reason. You can't just wake up one morning saying, like, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something that caused that. But see, I think this in my mind as an opinion. Now, he got kids with this woman, So, this is what she gonna look at him and what the kids gonna look at him eventually. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. In and out. You come and you got to go. You come and see him and you got to go, See, kids, they are better with two parents. But see, like I said, if you're not trying to build a committed relationship, long term, either you're married or not, long term, doing some common law, whatever, don't even think about getting her pregnant or becoming pregnant, Put something on, But see, we don't think about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't think about it. This is a common thing we do, We just get with a woman or we get with a man and we have sex and then bam, a baby is on his way, We ain't think about no child. But the child will always come to you, come to that mother, come to the father. It always say, how come, why, wish? How come y'all didn't work it out? How come y'all didn't talk about it? How come y'all didn't give each other ultimatums? Why y'all didn't work it out? Why he went his way? Why you went your way? I wish you were still together. I wish y'all was getting married. I wish you live in the same household under one roof. I wish. See, that's what I'm saying. Ain't no point to lay down and have sex with someone if you're not trying to be together. In all honesty, sex is only purpose is to make a life, to keep the human species going on. That's it. Not to have a good gay old time. No. You know what I'm saying? But also sex is also purpose is of a man and woman come together, really genuinely come together, intertwine. Intertwine. Yeah. Some people cannot produce a child in sex. can't. Some people can't. Some women cannot produce a child. They just intertwine together. And it comes behind that pleasure and whatever, But see, relationships, I've been in a relationship with my 2 daughters' mother, I've been with her, and it lasted 12 years, 12 years, My son's mother lasted almost near 4 years or something, near 4 years, But I realized something, that I look at it. I looked at my kids' situation, as far as my son. I've been honest with my son, honest. I didn't even hold back or wait until he get older, because my son is becoming a teenager, I've been honest with him. I told my son when he announced it to me about something, that he missed something, and I replied back to him. I said, I know I don't see you as often, and I'm not there like I'm supposed to be. And I don't see you like that. But I still see you, It is what it is. And I told him when you get older, I will explain more so you can understand much better. I told him that. Some fathers in today's world wait till the child gets 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 30 something. Then say all that. You got to be honest with your children. You got to be truthful with your children. My daughters, they not like my son. Not at all. Because they so used to seeing me all the time. But eventually, they go step into his shoes and see what he see or feel, whatever, if they look at it. But see, I'm a prime example myself, because my mother and father, they was married, then they got divorced, When my father went his way and my mother went her way, my father got remarried and he had 2 other children. And they became my half siblings and stuff like that. Now when my father picked us up, so we could visit him, spend time with him at his house, and he took us to the park, his other 2 kids, whatever. And I saw with my own 2 eyes, in which my point is true. I saw with my own 2 eyes. And I thought, how come, why, I wish. He was playing with my half-brother. I felt some type of way, I felt some type of way. Honestly, I felt some type of way. He was demonstrating with his other kids, with his wife, and how his household structure was different from my mother's structure, because I was brought up in a single parent household, raised by a one parent that is a black woman. She raised us on her own. He did a little something, but she was the more of the caregiver. So I felt some type of way. It's the exact same way, regardless of whoever. If your child, he or she, have siblings, and that child, he or she, see the father with a married or family life, or playing with other siblings, that child will feel some type of way. For real. And they gonna realize it is what it is. So, topics, I just explained it. Relationships and children. You could post a comment about what I just said if you like to. If you like. Honestly. Your opinion. Like, share, subscribe. I am Drewize. This is Drewize Topics. Peace.